Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks a lot for stopping by the channel today. Whether you've been subscribed for a while or this is your first time or you're new here, certainly appreciate your time. And in today's video, we are going to get into 4 of my favorite Roberto Clemente cards in my collection. Now what prompted this is a video a couple weeks back by my good buddy in the hobby, Adam, over at Splendid Sports here on YouTube, and I'll leave a link below to his excellent channel. But he's doing kind of a really cool concept that appealed to me immensely. And he's calling it his Fab 4 collections. And he did Roberto Clemente first. And the idea is, and this is something that I wholeheartedly understand and kind of feel the same way about, you can't collect every card of everyone. At least most of us can't. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have an unlimited card budget. I have to try to stretch my hobby dollars as far as I can, especially with all the different areas of interest that I have. So I'm not going to have every card of everyone. So what Adam's done, and what really appealed to me, is he's looking at some of these big players and he's trying to just narrow down to have really 4 nice favorite examples of that player in his collection that he can appreciate. And then that's kind of complete at that point and he can move on to other players. So I love this idea. He put the call out there when he did his Clemente video for others to try to come up with their 4 favorite Clementes. And so I wanted to oblige. Really love Adam and his channel, and I have some great Clemente cards in my collection that I'm going to show today. 2 of these I have shown before, but it's been a little while, and then 2 of them are going to be brand new, including one monster that this just seemed like a good opportunity to unveil. Kind of been sitting on it for a couple of years, or since before I started my YouTube channel, and it seemed like a good time to have it see the light of day. So let's get started. The first one is a really appropriate choice. It was the first card that I thought of for my grouping of 4, the 72 Topps flagship Roberto Clemente. This is my copy, and a funny story about this, I actually bought this card from Adam without even knowing it. I had this card in a PSA 8, but it was pretty off-centered, so this past year, recognizing how much I love this card and how important it feels to my collection, wanted to get a nicer copy of it, and found this beautiful PSA 6, which I purchased and then turned around and sold my 8. So I did one of my classic downgrade moves there. Ended up with a copy that I like much better, and I generated some hobby income to spend on other cards when I sold that 8. And I didn't realize until this card showed up in the mail that it was the copy actually from Adam's collection that he had sold. So former Adam-owned Roberto Clemente starts us off. A lot to love about this one, aside from that cool story. It's my favorite image on any Clemente card. I just love that. Almost like, I think I've described it in the previous video as like a haunting image, but something you don't see often on baseball cards. Sort of a downtrodden Clemente staring down at the ground, tossing the ball up here. I just love everything about it. I love the way he's framed within the border of the card. It's just cardboard perfection. It's one of my favorite cards of the 1970s period. And yeah, as I said, the first one that I thought of to include in my Fab 4 for Roberto Clemente. And with apologies to this 61 Bob Clemente, who is a runner-up for you to look at while I gab there, my first card in my Fab 4 is the 72 Topps flagship. All right, next up, those of you that know me, I don't just collect, or I don't only collect vintage baseball cards. I love modern as well. I'm unapologetic about that. I love my modern cards. I love vintage too, but I really love modern. So I wanted to include one nice modern Clemente card in my run of 4, and this one seemed like the obvious choice. So this is a set that I adore. I did a whole video on it recently. It's one of my favorite sets of the last couple of years, and that is Topps Gilded Collection. From the inaugural release in 2022, I have the Gold Mini Diamond Clemente card. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. Probably my overall favorite modern Roberto Clemente. Just, man, the Pirates work so well on this design. It almost is like a team color match. Love that crazy effect in the background. I mean, check that out. Great image here of a stoic Roberto at the plate, awaiting the pitch. I just love everything about this. These are high-end, kind of scarce cards. I mentioned it in the recent video, but all copies of this card that exist, including the base version and all the parallels and the one-of-one, everything. There are only 185 total copies of this card in existence. So I'm really, really grateful to have one of the 50, you can see copy 33 of 50 here, mini diamond gilded Roberto Clementes from that first gilded release. So I had to get a modern card in there, and that one seemed like a no-brainer. Just a gorgeous set and a card that I'm really, really grateful to own. And then we're going to go back to vintage for the final two cards. And most people would probably save this one for last, but I'm actually going to get it out now because I like the card that I'm going to show last a little bit better than this card. And that may seem crazy, but just hear me out. So this one's a whopper. I've had this for years, since before I even started on YouTube. I've kind of been slow rolling it. And as I said in the intro, this exercise seemed like the perfect time to break it out. It's the 55 Topps Roberto Clemente rookie card. This is my copy. It's not the most beautiful copy ever. It's got some issues. It's a PSA 3 after all. I'm not a millionaire. I do have a hobby budget that I have to stick to. And so even years back, getting this before the boom and the pandemic, this was not a cheap card even back then. So I had to make my concessions as far as condition goes. I'm actually going to take this one out of the plastic just to get a little bit better look at it. The back is nice and clean. There's some yellowing there, some rounded corners. Again, this is a PSA 3, but there's no paper loss or anything that's really detracting, holes, anything like that that's detracting from the visual appeal. Just gorgeous back. And then here is the front. So, it's got it's got surface issues. It's got rounded corners, but it's pretty well centered. When you hold it at arm's length away like this, it's a great looking copy. The one thing about it that's most noticeable that does drive me a little bit nuts, there is a surface crease right here, going from the left border of the card to his cheek there. It doesn't really detract too much from the image. It doesn't overlap much with his actual face. It's mostly in the white space, or green space, I should say, behind him. So yeah, this is a great card. I'm not trying to talk this card down. I'm very grateful to have any copy of this. I never thought I would. It's an important one that I needed for my 55 Topps set. But at the same time, I'm not a completist, and I'm not somebody who just prizes the rookie card above all other cards automatically. So there may come a time where I sell this card. Maybe that's like hobby blasphemy, but it's not my favorite Clemente. I understand why it's important, and I love having it. And I am working on a 55 Topps set, which is the main reason that I haven't parted with this card. Even though it would definitely return probably a pretty penny. But there you have it, the Roberto Clemente rookie. Figured this opportunity, this Fab 4 idea from Adam that I really, really loved and gravitated towards, was a perfect time to break it out here on the channel for the first time ever. And then that leaves us with one more to complete my Fab 4. And this is an odd choice, but if you know me and you know about my collecting style, probably won't come as much of a surprise. It's a buyback card. And what this is Roberto's 1973 Topps card, which was his final Topps playing era card. Actually was released posthumously as he passed away at the very end of 1972. But this was bought back by Topps, stamped with this Topps original silver stamp beautifully in the upper left corner in the white space there, and then pack issued in a pack of 2015 Topps Update Baseball. This is likely a one-of-a-kind. There are not any print runs confirmed or announced by Topps for any of the buyback programs, so there's no way to ever know. But I can tell you that I snatched this up years ago, probably was back in 2015, in the fall of 2015, when people were ripping into Update. And I've never seen another one since, and I look at buybacks every week. I've got saved searches. If one had surfaced, I would likely know about it. So, at most, there can't be more than a couple or a few of these out there, but I believe it likely is a one of one. And as a fan of buybacks, it just doesn't get any better than this. It's fantastic. This one actually resides in my buyback Franken set in the actual binder over on the bookshelf to the left here. Took it out today and put it in this one touch just to include it in the video and keep it protected, but it'll go back into its home in the buyback set after this video is complete. And of course, the other thing that's cool about this, given that he passed away prior to the 73 season, we do get his complete stats on the back of the card, including his 3,000th hit, where he ended exactly, and even the cartoon mentions the fact that he achieved his 3,000th hit at the end of the season. So just a perfect card for all those reasons. I would probably include the 73 Clemente on my list of 4, even if it wasn't the buyback version and it was just the standard version of the card, because I love that it ended up being sort of a tribute card of him in a sense. But having the buyback version of it, this is my favorite Clemente card. And you'll probably think I sound crazy saying it. I would sell this rookie card. I would get rid of anything in frame here in the background before I ever got rid of this card. I hope to keep this one in my collection for as long as I am in the hobby. I absolutely treasure it, and it's just a unique item that you won't see in many other Clemente collections or baseball collections overall. So that's a wrap. That's going to be my Fab 4 on Roberto Clemente. This was a great excuse to dust a couple of these off and get them some airtime on the channel, especially the rookie card at long last. Really enjoyed doing this, Adam. Great concept. I hope to see some other players from you in the future. And if I can, as I could here, I'll certainly play along as you unveil more of yours as well. So that's a wrap for today. Thanks to Adam again for the great idea. Thanks to all of you for spending some of your valuable time with me looking at baseball cards here on YouTube. And I'll be back very soon with some more sports card content. Till then, enjoy the hobby, everybody. Take care.